Blues. Anybody here familiar with my old pal, Roy Bookbinder?
Yeah.
Roy passed away a couple months ago, and Roy was always very fond of, he had this little bit of a shtick when he would be introducing a Reverend Gary Davis song or a Pink Anderson song, or he would say shit like, Pink Anderson wanted to be here tonight, but he can't because he's dead. Roy Bookbinder would love to be here tonight because he's dead. I've been waiting years. I told him that was going to happen. I said, Roy, you know I'm going to use that when you get in the bucket, so don't go ahead. I'll be dead, what do I care? Well, boy, do I miss him, and it's like, you know, I had two fathers in this music. Roy Bookbinder being one, and the other one was a guy named Paul Jeremiah. And I lost both of these dudes within weeks of each other. And just such a bummer. And you know, from Roy, I did not learn one note of music from Roy, but I learned how to dump the, to dump and fill at a rest stop with a motorhome. I learned how to survive on the road in truck stops. I learned about, being a musician on the road from Roy, and I learned music from Paul. With Paul, it was very coincidental. I happened to have been in Rhode Island on tour, and I got to see him the day he passed. I had to go to a gig, and he passed, I guess, when I was on my way back to Providence. So we did get to, he was blissfully unaware of my presence, but I was there. So this is a song that I got from Paul. It's a song, remember back in 1927? Some of you got it. There was a flood in Mississippi, and it displaced hundreds of thousands of folks up and down the Mississippi, far north, as I understand, Dubuque even. And after 1927, you weren't any kind of a blues singer at all, unless you had a flood song. They were springing up like dandelions after a flood. And this song here in particular is by a guy named George Carter, who was another George, a 12-string guitar player. And just to illustrate how important flood songs were at that point, Georgie up in Atlanta didn't even get his sneakers wet, and he had a flood song. But George had a very short recording career. He recorded four songs, 278 RPM records for Paramount in 1930. Sadly, most of these four songs sound the same. And this one's the best of the four. And we don't really know anything about him outside of he left Atlanta at some point and ended up in Chicago. And there's a very important black newspaper there in Chicago called the Chicago Defender. And they did print his obituary where it said he died of a lack of repertoire. So anyway, I'm going to do this one for Paul and for Roy. Roy was supposed to be on this show tonight. Roy was supposed to be here. Instead, you got Arthur. There you go. See, I figured out over the last couple of months, get younger friends. rising for blue, running by my road. Rising for blue, running by my road. Yeah, running through my life and running for. Come in, your sweet mama, sit down on my knee. Yeah, sweet mama, sit down on my knee. And rising up, blues your good to me. Got the moving ahead, I ain't allowed on every street. Got the moving ahead, I ain't allowed on every street. And rising river, blues your comedy. Come get your sweet mama, let me speak my mind. Yeah, sweet mama, let me speak my mind. Tell me, yo, these blues gonna take a long, long time. Rising for blue, running by my road. Rising for blue, running by my road. Yeah, running through my life.